Tonight, we're hearing from a state lawmaker who's trying to make sure the recent protests by MU football players don't happen again. The lawmaker has pre-filed a bill he says will hold both athletes and coaches to a new standard, but not everyone approves of it. ABC 17's Dan Messinio is live at Memorial Stadium tonight. And Dan, this legislation would revoke student-athlete scholarships if they refuse to play.
It would, Jillian. The bill's sponsor, Representative Rick Bratton, says this is in response to the events on campus last month when Mizzou football players refused to play in support of a students' hunger strike and campus protests.
I'm resigning as president of the University of Missouri system.
State lawmakers were closely watching the MU campus protests last month that led to a major shakeup in leadership. One lawmaker says it can't happen again.
If our universities aren't going to stand up and hold them, put their feet to the fire, then we'll step up and make them put their feet to the fire.
MissouriNet.com was able to talk to Representative Rick Bratton, a Republican from Harrisonville, who has pre-filed a bill that would revoke the scholarship of any college athlete who calls, incites, supports, or participates in any strike. And players aren't the only ones who would face a penalty if the bill passes. The weekend before Wolf resigned, former coach Gary Pinkel tweeted out support for his players.
My players deeply cared about this guy, and he was dying, and will you support me, coach? And that's what I did.
In response, Bratton's bill would fine any member of a coaching staff who encourages or enables athletes to take part in a strike.
We saw a coach give his blessing to students to hold a university hostage and refuse to play till they give in to their demands.
Not all lawmakers are on board with Bratton's bill. A statement from Representative Brandon Ellington, the chairman of the Legislative Black Caucus, says the bill would solidify and legalize institutional racism and says athletes should be able to exercise their free speech.
I hope we don't have to end up having to pass this. I hope the university steps up and does what they should have done to begin with and put a stop to this type of behavior.
If it passes, it's unclear how the bill would be enforced. Now, I contacted the University of Missouri today for a comment, and they said they do not talk about pending legislation. Reporting live, Dan Messinio, ABC 17 News.
Thanks, Dan. It's too early to know when the bill will come up for a legislative hearing. The 2016 legislative session begins January 6th.